I thought this t-shirt was appropriate because I'm no longer a police officer. I'm happy to report. In fact, in the first few months of my business, I was able to resign from the police because I was earning more than my police wage. In fact, I was earning, I think, 4.5 times my monthly police wage. So why did I do it? Why did I go from being a cop, being a police officer, to network marketing? Well, it was never the plan. I can guarantee you of that. In fact, my friend had told me about it 4 years before. And as a police officer, if you are a cop, if you know a cop, we're negative people. Because no one ever rings the cops and says, hey, something great just happened. They ring the cops because something bad just happened. You're around bad every single day. And you turn into that negative person. Oh yeah, well that would happen. That's life. People are mean. No one's looking out for you. You can't trust anybody. And that was the mode that I was in for so long. I struggled really badly. I suffered with anxiety. I had a couple of bouts of depression. I think it wasn't the job as a police officer that did that, but I think it probably exacerbated it. And yeah, I got pregnant and I was excited. For the first time in a long time, I was super happy, because actually all I ever wanted to be was a mum. I didn't want to be a big business person. I wasn't driven by anything like that. I used to think of business ideas all the time, but just because I wanted freedom of being my own boss. And I was terrified when I was 30 weeks pregnant. So 4 years before I'd been offered to take a look at network marketing, I had rolled my eyes and said, oh, I'm a police officer, don't you know? And just dismissed it. But 30 weeks pregnant, I was cleaning late at night. My husband was working nights. We were always like passing ships. And I looked over at the baby's bedroom that I'd done ready for him. And actually, I looked at the wardrobe, the clothes, decoration, everything paid for by my parents. Reality was I'd be back to work after maternity really quickly because we just didn't have the money. And I just thought, oh my gosh, what have you done? You've got pregnant, you rely on other people, and this is not where I wanted to be. I was 31. I didn't imagine having my first child being in that situation actually, but it was almost like someone just opened the curtains and went, hello, look at reality. This is your reality. Why haven't you thought of this before? And so at that point, I decided to get in touch with my friend, who I'd ignored for 4 years. Luckily, she spoke to me. And I just said, I need you to help me. I need to earn some extra money so I can stay off work on maternity. Lots of you feel the same, I'm sure, or have felt the same. And so I got started, and I had no interest in networking. I had no interest in building a team. I had no interest in becoming the top of the company, which I ended up doing in the first 18 months. I had no idea what I was about to do. But what I did know is what I wanted. And at first, I just wanted that couple of hundred extra. But, our industry has a great way of inspiring you, I think, and, helping you to believe that you can do what the last person just did. And so I saw loads of different people from loads of different types of backgrounds, some people who were like me. I actually kind of looked for people who maybe had struggled with their confidence, struggled with the same things that I had, but have made a success anyway. And I was inspired by them. So got my head down, went to work, and it has more than paid off. So yeah, I think by month 4 or 5 of my business, I was earning 4.5 times my monthly police income. I left the police, then it was 6 figures the month after, and my husband then left the police. He resigned then about 10 months later. And we've not looked back since. But the reason I did it in the first place was because, I love my job in the police, but I didn't want to be the mum that came home with bruises on my face and injuries and have to say to my son, yeah, like there are bad people in the world. I didn't want to be that mum. And I didn't want to be the mum who couldn't go to the sports days, couldn't go to the parents' evenings, was always the last to pick up the child. I wanted to be the first. I'm always the first. I make it my point. I want to be the first one there. And I wanted to be the mum that I wanted to be, not that somebody else dictated that I could be. And when I think about the reason for building business, I think some people are inspired to build a business and some people are desperate. And I was desperate, and then I became inspired. So I think you can build it definitely both ways. But I think what's important is you've got to seek out those people like you that you can kind of run with, that you can work alongside, and the people that inspire you. And that's what I did. You know, I found someone who inspired me and I ran on those tracks because they're the same tracks that I had. They were just like me, had the same reasons for building their business. And of course, now I'm an ex-cop turned MLM queen, and I'm a big, advocate of the industry, not just my company, and I am really enjoying it. I think if you are watching and you're wondering as well whether, but I'm a police officer, it's what I do, can I do it? Or I'm a nurse, or I'm a teacher, this is what I do, I don't know anything else. Well, sometimes stepping into the unknown is scary. But it's when you're scared that then those things that scare you initially, but you do them anyway, those things can bring back the biggest reward. So I encourage anyone who's watched the full video to, whatever it is that you're looking at doing right now, if you find it scary, do it anyway, because I promise it definitely pays off.